Okay? So let's look. Okay, some of the functions of the emotions that the Bible describes is number one, responding. Responding. The second is appreciating. Appreciating. Okay. So there's a new marker. Lots of new markers. And then the third is indicating. Okay, I'll explain each of these ones. Your emotions are not designed to lead. The emotions are not designed to initiate. The emotions, God did not create them to be the leader of our life, but rather the responder, to respond. Now sometimes this is in a positive way, responding. Many times there is a negative, and we call it reaction. There's in the function of our emotions, there is both the emotions that are under the sarkikos, connected to our flesh, and then also there are emotions in a positive way when they're under the control of the Holy Spirit. Under the flesh, not so much responding, but often reacting. Like reacting with anger, reacting with jealousy, reacting with violence or something. I don't know. Okay, but here's the point, is that the emotion, the mind is designed to be the part of our soul that does the leading. Our mind, with thinking, logical thinking, and together with the will, making decisions. And we want our will to make decisions according to truth, rather than to make decisions based upon our feelings or our emotions. Lord, please keep us in the light. We had this happen this afternoon. But still, then the sun was out, so it was okay. Okay, then the word appreciating. We have appreciating. So, an experience like joy. Joy. That is an appreciation. Happiness. Happiness. I am happy. Right? We're appreciating something that is good, that is from God. Appreciating. Okay, then the word indicating, what this means is this. Is there times we will make decisions. Your emotions are not the thing to make a decision. Combination of my mind and will, this is how we should make decisions. But after we make a decision, or maybe just as we're making the decision, many times maybe our emotions will confirm, or sometimes we get kind of a bad feeling about something. And it's almost like a warning. And it's kind of, the emotions are indicating whether this is a good decision or maybe not so good decision. That the Holy Spirit often will use our emotions to maybe correct us or to get us to reconsider something and to put more thought into something. Okay? Anyway, God has given us emotions as a beautiful gift for us. And they are really, they are designed to fellowship with God's emotions. Okay, any thoughts like in the Bible, starting in Genesis? What are some of the first times and different kinds of emotions that we see in the Bible? Any thoughts? Early on in Genesis, where are some of the first emotions that we see in the Bible?
Adam and Eve.
Okay, with Adam and Eve, what is?
They were shy because they were naked. They were ashamed.
Okay, they were ashamed, right? They were ashamed. It says before the sin, they were not ashamed, and then after they sinned, they were ashamed. That is an emotion. Shame is an emotion. It is a feeling. What else? Fear. Adam and Eve feared the presence of God after they sinned. Right? That is an emotion of fear. Why? Because they had sinned. And now they're afraid of God. Anything else? Guilt. Yeah, very good. Guilt. And this was legitimate guilt because they had really sinned. Right? Guilt is it's a proper emotion when we have sinned. Good. Any others? How about in the other night, Genesis chapter 4, verse 7, with Cain? Envy, yes. He was envious. He was envious about his brother. Anything else? Jealous. What? Pride. He was proud. Yep. It says his count, when God rejected his offering, it says his countenance fell. This is on his face. It's showing his maybe anger, his disappointment. He is rejected. His what? Discouragement. Yes, all of these things. Oftentimes we feel multiple emotions at once, especially when we're rebelling against God. I think he was also angry. Okay, so then also in the Bible, we also see God's emotions. We were created in the image of God. And when we read the Bible about God, we see that God has emotions. Do you remember in Genesis chapter 6, verse 6?
Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. So the Lord was sorry that he had made mankind on the earth. He has grieved in his heart.
Okay, good. The grieving, sorrow, regret, these are all different emotions. And actually in this text, it says God was grieved. God was grieved. There is sorrow, genuine sorrow in God's heart. And also these feelings are also things we can also experience. And we do at times, right? Emotions. There's an interesting story in 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 26. 1 Kings chapter 3. Maybe you know this story. It's the story of King Solomon. And Solomon is actually revealing his wisdom to judge between two women. Do you remember this story? That there were two women, and they both had little babies. One of the women's babies died during their sleep. During the night, she switched babies, and the other mother didn't know it at the time. And when she woke up, she found that her baby was dead. But it actually was not her baby, it was the other man, the other woman. And she had actually stolen. And they went to King Solomon, and they asked for King Solomon to judge. One woman is saying, "This is my baby." The other one is saying, "No, that is my baby. She stole it." Right? Last night she stole it. And they're arguing. So King Solomon, what did he say? Okay, yes, okay, here's the solution. We will take a sword and cut the baby in two. You can have half, and you can have half. So, in verse 26, it says, "Then the woman whose son was living spoke to the king. For it says, she yearned with compassion for her son. And she said, 'O my Lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill him.' But the other woman said, 'Let him be neither mine nor yours. Divide him.'" So then what did Solomon say? Okay, it's clear who is the true mother. But anyway, in this verse, it really is emphasizing this mother's emotions. Her emotions. There's two words. Yearning. Do we know this word yearning? Desiring. Really like wanting to rescue her baby. And then the second word is compassion. Does anyone else have any other? Do you have King James or what? Do you want to read it in King James? This verse, 1 Kings 3:26.
Then spake the woman whose the living child was in the grave, for her bowels yearned upon her son, and she said, "O my Lord, give her the living child, and it no was laid." But the other said, "Let it be neither mine nor thine, but by thine."
Okay, so it said bowels, right? He used this word bowels. Her bowels yearned. It sounds very strange to us, but these are the words. Like, actually, I kind of prefer emotions. I don't like, but the Bible uses the word bowels. Okay. Okay, some other verses. Psalm 73, verse 21. Psalm 73. Verse 21. In mine, it says, "Thus my heart was grieved, and I was vexed in my mind." Verse 21, yeah. So, the heart is grieved. How does it say in your James? Yeah, you can read it.
Thus my heart was grieved, and it was pricked in my ribs.
It was what?
Pricked.
Oh, pricked. Yes. It was pricked in my reins. in my reins. My literally kidneys were pricked. Huh? Yeah.
When the kidney is pricked, agoy.
Tusok-tusok.
Okay.
Parang ginatusok.
So in the psalmist he's speaking about a dream. He's having a dream, and the result is the dream is that he was grieved and he was pricked in his reins, meaning in his emotions he was very bothered. He was like, yeah. So, okay, another verse, Proverbs 23, verse 16. Proverbs 23, verse 16, New King James, it says, "Yet my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak things." Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be zealous for the fear of the Lord all the day. How does yours say, verse 16?
Yea, my reins shall rejoice when thy lips speak right things.
Okay, good. So in mine it used the word inmost, but it's actually this word reins. My reins will rejoice. So these are the emotions of responding. He's responding with his emotions to God communicating. When God is speaking, when people speak true things, then says, my reins will rejoice. Now, in the previous verse, in verse 15, it also speaks of, my son, if your heart is wise, my heart will rejoice. Does yours say heart? Yeah. So sometimes it's addressing the heart, other times it's addressing higher up in the emotions, in the soul. But the heart is the foundation, it is the basis from which the rejoicing comes. And then they're expressed through the emotions in our soul. Anyway, there are many, many emotions that are expressed in the Bible. Both positive and negative. Another passage is in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 4. Song of Solomon is the story of love. It's the story of love between a bridegroom and the bride. And actually, the Song of Solomon has many expressions of feelings. So in verse 4, this is the bride speaking, my beloved put his hand by the latch of the door, and my heart yearned for him. My heart yearned for him. My heart desired him. Okay? How does yours say?
My beloved put in his hand by the hold of the door, and my bowels were moved from it.
Okay. My bowels, that doesn't sound so romantic. My bowels were moved.
Operahan.
But
Operation.
but these are expressions of love and desire and feelings of great attraction, great love. Okay, go to Luke chapter 1, verse 44, there's a very unique expression of emotions here. Luke chapter 1, verse 44. Okay, so the background of this story is Elizabeth, the wife of Zechariah, she is pregnant with John the Baptist. She's maybe, I think, about 6 months pregnant. So, I don't know, how big? The baby, John the Baptist, in her, is in her womb.
Tanong sa kutiyan ba?
Then it says, when Mary, who already conceived Jesus in her womb, but Jesus at this point was very small, maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks old since conception. Very, very young. Very, very small. And when Mary comes to Elizabeth, what does it say in verse 44? For indeed, as soon as the voice of your greeting sounded in my ears, the babe leaped in my womb for joy. So it says John the Baptist in Elizabeth's womb, actually filled with the Holy Spirit, according to God's promise, that from the womb is very unusual. But John the Baptist was filled with the Holy womb. Recognize the presence of Jesus, the Messiah, in coming, and it says that the baby in her womb, not born yet, had great joy at the presence of Jesus. Isn't that interesting? I think that's very interesting. That even in the womb, how many of you have ever been pregnant? Few of you have been pregnant? Yes? Do you remember the baby kicking? Yes? The baby is, I don't know, the baby's happy. The baby is moving around. You turn on the music. Maybe the baby's moving a little bit. Anyway, the baby, even in the womb, has aspects of emotions and feelings already in the womb. I think this verse also is an amazing verse to speak against abortion. That if John the Baptist was already developed enough to experience emotion of joy, Jesus was very young, only 1 or 2 weeks after conception, and he is also completely a human. I mean, he is God-man in her already.